Moving on now, the Benue State House of Assembly has rejected plans by the federal government to establish Ruga settlements in parts of the state.
The Speaker of the Assembly has now directed the 23 council chairmen in the state to pull down any signposts suggesting the settlement in their domains. Mayowa Kwato has the report.
The issues surrounding the establishment of Fulani settlements called Ruga in Benue State has generated an uproar from the people of the state. One major reason is the allocation of land by the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to establish the Fulani settlements in some parts of the state.
The federal government needs anything that pertains to land. I think first and foremost she ought to consult with those governors involved and then come up with such a resolution.
We are farmers. We do find a lot, and the land is not even enough for us. You understand? To some of our brothers, even we the two people within ourselves, we are having skirmishes. You understand? Because of the land. You understand? So we don't even have the land to give anybody for Ruga settlement.
We the Benue people who have stood behind our governor. We the Benue people who have stood before the ranch, and ranch is best practice in the world. Developed countries in the world is ranching. It's not Ruga settlement. It is not colony or what have you.
This historian also shares his view as well.
Why isolate a particular group? This is questionable. If the Fulanis on their own cannot evolve an economy, you need a state government that can evolve, a federal government that will evolve an economy using force. This is wrong.
The Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, Titus Uba, has waded into the matter, directing the 23 council chairmen in the state to pull down any signposts indicating commencement of the settlements in their domains.
The Benue State House of Assembly rejects the move for Fulani Ruga settlement in Benue State and instead support the full implementation of the Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law 2017. The House of Assembly took his stand and directed His Excellency, the Benue State Governor, Dr. Samuel Ortom, to direct every chairman of any local government that sees any signpost should go there and remove it immediately.
He added that the 9th Benue State House of Assembly, as a parliament, condemns the plans of the federal government to allocate any portion of land within Benue State for Ruga settlements. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makurdi, Benue State.
Joining us via Skype is public affairs analyst Dayo Lomowagu. Dayo, it's good to have you join us on this issue. Can you talk to us generally? Why is this issue so controversial?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dayo. Good morning, Dayo. If you can hear me, I'm asking, the federal government has said that it is trying to help reduce the clashes between herders and farmers, but the people don't seem to see it that way. Why is this so controversial?
I think the reason that this is very controversial is when it has to do with government allocating the land, the historical land where people live. You know, where you now want to allocate, you want to take people from their ancestral homes and you want to allocate it to another set of people or for another program, however good intentions may be. I think this will usually come against confrontation. You remember that some of these places you want to now allocate to Ruga settlement or whatever the name is, people have been living there, dated maybe 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago. There's a special attachment to these places. And so for government to just descend one day and to say you are allocating it to Ruga settlement without proper consultation, without proper consideration, without having a good understanding with the people, you expect that there will be confrontations.
Now, as it is now, what is basically, apart from the fact that consultation wasn't made, what about the timing or the idea? Is there anything wrong with the timing or maybe the idea of it?
You see, again, I think it's majorly about the consultation. But if you're looking at the timing, we are such in the time. It's a time in the country that things are not okay. The economy is down. There's insecurity here and there. There's one problem or the other. And so maybe Nigerians are not looking at how important is settling the cows, how important is settling the Fulani harassment at this particular point in time, especially at the time we're in the country. So the trust is broken down. It's almost 100% broken down. Nigerians can't trust themselves. The people from the north can't trust the people from the south. You know, the people from the east can't trust the people from the west. And so the time is so critical that to just come around with this kind of policy at this time, taking people out of their ancestral home and replacing them with cow or whatever, is clearly a wrong timing. I think the relationship, the trust in the country, I mean, the trust that can should are looking to again before you even bring.
All right, Dio. Dio, how best should the federal government have handled this issue?
You see, again, it has to do with how genuine the federal government has been with this, how sincere they have been with this policy, because people are wondering what exactly is urgent about this, what exactly is so important about this that we ignore the yearnings of the people who own the land. They are saying we are not interested. You know, for example, the governor goes to Abuja, and because of some political correctness or political favor that I want to get from the presidency, he easily gives out the state to this settlement. But the people, the owner, the aborigines of those land, they're saying we are not interested. So I think clearly the federal government should have looked deeper into this. However good the idea sounds, you see, what I'm even thinking, can't the money we want to put into Ruga settlement, you see, can't we put it into we know where the cow comes from. They come basically from the north, from the northern part of the country. Now you tell me there are desert there. Now, even if you go to some countries that are practically desert, go to Israel, go to Saudi Arabia, go to Dubai, go to Australia, go to so many of these countries. They are practically desert. But if you talk about people who are doing agriculture today, they are the leading countries in agriculture in the world. And so vegetation can grow anywhere in the world, whether it's a desert or not, it is the will. So this money we want to put into Ruga settlement. We have ranches, that have been established in the past. Can't we go back to those places and make it work? Can't we put this money there and ensure that vegetation grow there and the people can, the cow owner, the herders can have food for their cow.
All right, Dio, we have to leave you here now. Thank you so much for talking to us on TVC Breakfast. The federal government is set to establish cattle colonies called Ruga settlements.
The government says this is to curb the clashes between farmers and herdsmen across the country. About 12 states have applied to the Ministry of Agriculture, making lands available for the take-off scheme in their states. Many other state governments are kicking against the idea. The Speaker of Benue State House of Assembly, Titus Uba, has directed the 23 council chairmen in the state to pull down any signpost indicating commencement of the settlement in their domains. Now joining me now via Skype is Kabir Shitu, President, Ranch Owners Association of Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, there's several controversy with regards to this issue. Perhaps you can make it clearer to Nigerians, because the government is saying that it is a voluntary decision for state governments to take it. So one wonders why so much controversy.
Good morning, Nigerians. You see, we should, as people, look at cow as a cash. That's why the white men call it cash cow. It is a business, not only for Fulani. This is the business that is taking Mexico as a country, and they earn their living from this cow, and they are not Fulanis. If you go into countries like Argentina, like Brazil, even in the United States of America, you hear the cowboys. These are not Fulanis. Business of cow is not Fulani business. It is Nigerians' business. It is a concept, because when you are promoting rice, when you can see CBN promoting rice, promoting palm, promoting cotton, and we have to promote also ranch, because when you are talking of ranch, One, you are not talking only of cow. You have goat. In fact, I prefer taking goat milk than cow milk.
But the issue here for most people is the fact that the kind of attention the federal government is given to this issue is not given as much to other businesses.
It's not issue of attention. It's not issue of ethnicity. It's issue today. If you have a ranch, let's assume in Ikene, or you have a ranch, let's assume, why do you have this Obudu Ranch? During the First Republic, they established Obudu Ranch, which was established by Nnamdi Azikiwe. You established Okunu Ranch, which was established by Chief Obafemi Awolowo. They established Mokwa Ranch, which was established by Sardauna of Sokoto. Now, these ranch are there for business. Only maybe where the problem comes is from the name. When you call it Ruga, people may not understand it. But what that connotes is that they want to promote issue of ranch. They want to promote issue of how do we curb this insecurity.
So are you saying that this issue will curb the issue of farmer herders clashes?
Yes, it's part of the security because you curb farmers herders clashes. I had done this before in Bayelsa State. I was chairman of Bayelsa Cattle Ranch Committee, Management and Control. And we control it because immediately you establish a ranch and you direct them to go to that ranch. One, the citizens of that area are making money from it. The youth are making money from it because you engage the youth in planting the grass. You engage the youth in the new abattoir that you are establishing. You engage people in the veterinary. In fact, it makes you to check because you are coming.
But these people are nomads. They are not to stay in one place.
So, in each area where each cows or animals who owns those animals in those areas, and therefore, if they go and or invade into somebody's farm, you know whom to get, and they, because of that, we curb that menace. People will not. So I think Nigerians should see it more as a business venture instead of making it as an ethnicity issue.
All right, Kabir Shitu, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.
The government is set to establish cattle colonies called Ruga settlements.
The government says this is to curb the clashes between farmers and herdsmen across the country. About 12 states have applied to the Ministry of Agriculture, making lands available for the take-up of the scheme in their states. Many other states' governments are kicking against the idea.
Now, the Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, Titus Uba, has directed the 23 council chairmen in the state to pull down any signpost indicating commencement of the settlement in their domains.
Joining me in the studio is Public Affairs Analyst Terence Kwanum. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thanks for having me.
Now, the federal government rather, has said that this Ruga settlement is voluntary, and state governments, some state governments have keyed into it already. About 12 of them have keyed in, saying they want to be a part of this. So why is there so much controversy with regards to this issue?
Well, the policy itself is controversial because, one, the identity of the 12 states is not known.
Yeah, we have states like Niger, we have Adamawa and some other states.
No, the identity is not known.
When you say not known, how do you mean that?
Because as of yesterday night, the press wanted to know the 12 states, but they couldn't. They are only telling people that 12 states are doing the pilot.
Nope, I just mentioned some of the states to you.
No, Niger is not in it yet. Those things are propagandas.
Really?
And and you know, these are very serious security issues.
How do you know that it is propaganda?
Because it is not, this thing is 31,000 hectares. You cannot be developing 21,000 hectares without the public domain. It will be obvious. 31,000 hectares is the size of a local government. So you cannot be developing 31,000 hectares in the state and you only know it alone. And then secondly, this is a very serious security challenge. We had in time past thought that because of politics, they were able to take some security decisions that could end the farmer herders crisis. But with the Ruga issue coming up this strong, it is becoming obvious that the farmer herder crisis is overwhelming the federal government.
So you are saying that you are not confident that this
It is not, it's not the solution.
It's not the solution?
It's not the solution because this is a country the president came out to tell us that the people killing the farmers are ISWA. He was the president of ECOWAS by then. He just handed over. So it was a privileged information to us. Second, he said this is spillover of Gaddafi militias. Now the president admitted that foreigners are killing his citizens. What is the first solution? Has he told us he has been able to push these people away from this country? Because when you say Ruga settlements, you're bringing herders. These killers came as herders. So are you taking ISWA and Gaddafi militias to come and give them settlements in your own country? So the controversy is not about, I want Ruga in this state.
But there are...
The controversy is about, you have a security challenge, killing your citizens on a daily basis. At the moment, we have close to 500,000 Nigerians in IDP camps because of this crisis. Now, with the solution, not be resettling people and giving them confidence to live in this country, but rather create controversial settlements with people who are arms to pit against each other.
This Ruga settlement, according to reports this morning, is not just to Fulani herders, it's to those who are also...
I have not mentioned Fulani herders.
It's not for herders,
I have mentioned herders.
Herders.
And
all right, let's take out the Fulani out of it. It's
yes.
not just for herders, but also those who are into, animal husbandry. So it is to ensure that they have a place, to ensure that there is a value chain that benefits people when it comes to the employment and every other aspect. It is not just for herders.
You don't understand the implication of the security of this. That might be their intention, but what is beyond it is deep. I just told you that the other herders they told us were ISWA. You just admitted that some herders are Fulani. There's some herders...
Now, I have told you that is not what it is. It is herders
some herders,
we are looking at
some
now.
herders, they say, are spilled over from the Gaddafi. Then we also know that there are herders left, right, and center in Nigeria. But the herders they are saying you give Ruga, have the president come out to tell us that ISWA has gone out? Has the president come out to tell us that the Gaddafi man has gone out? So if you create Ruga now, which herders? Is it the Gaddafi people you want to come and tell them to go and occupy a land up to 31,000 hectares and keep them to be killing your citizens? Will you, okay, if TVC is in an IDP camp, you carry Ruga and come and put in an IDP camp when these people know that the people that push them to IDP camp are these herders? So you cannot complicate the security issue with that kind of challenge.
So that is what this is going to happen. This is going to be.
That is why it's the most controversial. And it is becoming obvious that the federal government is being overwhelmed by this issue. Because we expect a solution from the federal government.
We have to leave it at this point. We have to let it go at this point because we have limited time. Thank you for your contribution on TVC Breakfast.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. Now, the federal government is set to establish cattle colonies called Ruga settlements.
The government says this is to curb the clashes between farmers and herdsmen across the country. About 12 states have applied to the Ministry of Agriculture, making lands available for the take-up scheme in their states.
Many other state governments are kicking against the idea. The Benue State House of Assembly Speaker, Titus Uba, has instructed or directed 23 council chairmen in the state to pull down any signpost indicating commencement of the settlement in their domains. All right, joining us now via Skype is Kabir Shitu, President, Ranch Owners Association of Nigeria. Kabir, it's good to have you join us right now. If you have to make us understand, you are someone who has been championing the idea of cattle ranching. What's the difference between the ranching and the Ruga that has been proposed or fronted by the federal government?
Different between these two. What Nigerians need to know is that maybe the difference is the name they put, calling it Ruga. They shouldn't have called it Ruga. It should have been remained as cattle ranch. or what you call grazing reserve. These are two names. And when you are talking of ranch, ranch connotes cattle, goat, pig, ostrich, any other type of that you can put on ranch. So I can go to my backyard and put up what you call pig or goat ranch, sheep ranch. Animal is an animal.
All
so
right.
Therefore, the difference is that a Nigerian should know that in putting up these ranches, it is for us first to bring about security in the country. Because if in your state you have a ranch and you put a law that nobody should roam with cattle or even goat that always pass, sometimes when you are driving, goat came in and caused accidents. So it will stop people from even rearing animals in the town. Instead, they take their animals into the ranch. And this ranch will even employ millions of Nigerian youths. One, if I have my goat, maybe I only have 5 goats.
All right, Kabir, let me put you on hold. Kabir, let me put you on hold right now. Let's cross over to the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State, Teve Akasi, joining us right now. Teve, it's good to have you join us. Good morning. Benue State is one of the states that has come out openly to challenge or to reject or refuse the proposed Ruga by the federal government. Can you make us understand why the state government is taking this stance? Because the government has said that this is meant to quell the issue between farmers and herders.
Well, our stand is informed by the law that we have, which is called Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law 2017 of Benue State. The law is very, very clear on how a cattle owner, a livestock owner, can acquire land for the establishment of ranches. The law does not make any provision for the establishment of Rugas. So when you ask us to accommodate Ruga settlements, by the way, Ruga settlements are going to be, from what we have discovered, one Ruga is going to be the size of a local government area. Now, where do you have such free land in this country? If we have it in other places, Benue does not have such land. For instance, you are asking the people of Otupo to give you close to 30,000 hectares, which is approximately 300 square kilometers of land. That's more than Otupo local government area. Where would you find such land? So in essence, this is colonialism. And we feel that, look, the federal government needs to rethink.
All right, Teve, a lot of persons. Yes, Teve, a lot of persons have said that the challenge here is maybe the absence of appropriate consultation and maybe the way this issue should have been communicated to Nigerians.
Well, that's another issue. That's another issue which I think is true. Yes, for some states which are yet to have to enact laws for ranching, yes, such discussion, such dialogue was very, very important. But for a state like Benue, or perhaps Taraba State, where you have laws in operation which encourage ranching, the dialogue should have tilted towards helping the cattle owners in Benue State to understand, to learn how to operate their ranches, and not Ruga, because Ruga is a colony where you establish a community of cattle owners, give them access to free health, education, good roads and water at the expense of the rest of the people. Because we don't think that the herders will allow any other person to be part of the Ruga, looking at the way they operate. So we feel that this is occupation This is targeted at taking the land belonging to the people and giving it to outside, to people who are invaders. You know, because these people said they are going to take over the Benue Valley, that the struggle in Benue State and other surrounding states is a struggle for the control of natural resources. And it was the FUNAM, which is the Fulani Nationality Movement, said this thing clearly, that they are struggling in Benue to control, to occupy the land and take it over. And let me ask a question. Just hold on 1 minute. Let me ask a question. Since November 2018 that our law came into existence, no Fulani herdsman has applied through the Ministry of Agriculture to operate a ranch, and he has been denied. None.
All right.
So,
all right, but there's a hope, TV, there's a hope that if they apply, they can get lands, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
I am saying, but if they apply, there's an assurance they can get any kind of land they apply for.
Absolutely, absolutely correct.
Okay.
The law
thank you.
for both
we have to leave you here now, sorry. Thank you very much, TV Akasi, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State, joining us from Abuja. Thank you so much for talking to us on that.